Hey friend, if you're training the same way at 40 or 60 as you were at 20, I think you're doing it wrong. And I'm going to give you some strategies and examples today to make sure that as you age, you continue to stay fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime. Hey friend, Mike Robertson here, and today we're going to talk about how your training program or how your training days should modify or evolve the longer that you train. So what I've got here, I've got how you train when you're in your 20s, how you train when you're in your 40s, and how you train when you're in your 60s. And what I want to do is basically break down what a training session would look like at each respective stop in your training career. So let's start with our 20s, because look, we all know when we're in our 20s, we go in the gym, maybe we warm up for 5 minutes, if we're lucky, bang out a couple resets, maybe we do a couple dynamic stretches, but it's not the most intense warm-up of all time, right? We're ready to go in there and we're ready to bang weights. On the flip side, when we go in, we're not really thinking about our assistance work either, which is my orange marker here. The assistance work is like our insurance policy. It's what keeps us healthy. But when we go in the gym, when we're in our 20s, we're trying to get after it. We're trying to get big, we're trying to get strong, we're trying to push heavy weights. So like all of this, tons of red here, right? As much red as I can get in there, best I can do. But you get the idea, right? We're in there to push weight. We're trying to get bigger, we're trying to get stronger, we're trying to accrue muscle mass. And the great thing about our 20s is, look, we don't have a lot of stress going on. Outside of maybe school or that first job, we have a ton of adaptive reserves. So we can go in the gym, we can get away with this kind of training, and it's not gonna negatively impact us. Now, as we evolve, we get into our 30s, maybe we get into our 40s. Now we start to realize, can't train like that anymore. I can't go in and do like a 2 or 3 minute warm up or no warm up at all and get away with it. So now I realize, man, I need to take like 15, 20 minutes. I need to put some dedicated time into my warm up. I need to do all my resets. I need to do all my dynamic stretches. I need to make sure my body's feeling really good. Furthermore, we realize, all those assistance exercises that I should have been doing in my 20s, I'm starting to see the value of those now. So I'm starting to realize, oh man, I should be doing those push-ups and working on my reaching. I should be doing those split squats and those half kneeling exercises. So now that insurance policy, as we age, it becomes a lot more important. So now you can see we're starting to break this workout up into almost thirds, because if you've done things right in your 20s, you should have a decent amount of muscle mass. You should have a decent amount of basic strength that you can carry around. And sure, there's days you're feeling froggy, you want to go in the gym and you want to crush some heavy weights, go for it. But gone are the days of doing this and just crushing, an 80, 90 minute session or 100-minute session where you're just banging heavy weights the whole time. Now, last but not least, we've got our 60s. And obviously, I'm not in my 60s yet, but I've trained numerous clients in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And the longer you do this, the more you realize how important the warm-up section is and how important our assistance exercises become. So now, that warm-up, if you want to have a good training day, man, that could easily be, a third of your workout. And keep in mind, you're not necessarily just doing breathing and resets that whole time, but you're really extending and fleshing out that warm up. So that could be not just your basic dynamic movements, but this could be your specific movements like warming up to squat, to bench press, to deadlift. It just takes a lot more time to get going, and you're not looking to just crush yourself, because again, if you did things right all these other decades of your career, man, all you have to do at this point in time, just a little dose of those big lifts will help maintain your strength. They'll help maintain your muscle mass, because frankly, you can't recover at the same rate in your 60s as you could in your 40s, and definitely not like you could when you were in your 20s. So you can't push your body nearly as much because you don't have the same level of recovery capacity. And then the final piece here is making sure, hey, this assistance work, at this point in time, this is where you're gonna make hay. So maybe you can't crush the big lifts like you could. Maybe it's 1 or 2 really heavy sets, but then we dive in and we get that assistance work in. We make sure we're taking great care of our body so that we can continue to do this into our 70s, into our 80s. And again, that whole goal of staying fit, healthy, and strong for a lifetime, that's what this is all about. So I hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, take a second, smash that like button. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my page. And if you're on the gram, make sure to follow me, because I'm going to be putting out great content like this almost every single day.